Today we will see how exception handling is being done in object-oriented programming with C++. What's the difference between errors and exception, and how we are using the try-catch statement to handle the exception. Then we'll see how multiple catches and catch all is being done in C++.
So, what is an error? Error is simply a term that is used to describe an issue that arises unexpectedly and it results in an incorrect output. Two main types of errors you can say that you have come across when you're doing programming was logical error and syntactic error. Logical error means the procedure that you're using to do the program is wrong, so you're getting an error in the result. Syntactic error means any grammatical errors that you occur in any language is called as a syntactic error. And what's the difference between an error and an exception? Exception, you can simply define it as an unexpected event that occurs during the runtime. For a normal input, you will not get any exceptional errors, but suppose there is a difference in the normal running of the program, you will be interrupted by a runtime error. That is called as an exception. Example, you can say when you are dividing any number by 0, suppose a and b becomes the same input and a minus b would be giving you 0. So c by a minus b would give you a error by division by 0 error. Second example given here is accessing the elements in an array beyond a limit. Suppose you have given the array size as 10 and you're trying to access the array number 10 or 11. 10 gives you error because you're having memory locations only from 0 to 9. So suppose you're giving a negative number as array index, that also would be giving you error. Suppose you're having an invalid input. For integer you're giving some character, it gives you an invalid input. And the error is running out of memory or running out of disk space. All these are examples for exceptions.
Exceptions are of two types. The first one is the synchronous exceptions, which occur during the program execution due to some fault in the input data. That is like errors like out of range, that is when the array index is out of range, overflow, underflow, all comes under the case of arrays. Now, asynchronous exceptions is due to external events like you're having a keyboard interrupt, like as when you're running the program, you press any interrupt key in the keyboard, or disk failure, hardware malfunction, all those comes under asynchronous exceptions. Now we are providing exception handling, that is in C++, only for synchronous exceptions, that you can only handle the error exceptions that are occurring due to program faults and not due to any external interrupts. The exception handling mechanism consists of three keywords: try, catch, and throw. So the first mechanism is to find the problem, that is called as a hit the exception. Now we have to inform that an error has been occurred. That is done using the throw. Now using catch, we receive the error information, and taking the corrective actions is known as handling the exception. So once the problem is found, you inform it, which is received by the catch, and then taking the corrective measures. Now, which are the statements where the exception can occur? We place them in the try keyword. That's a particular set of statements would be placed in the try block. When an exception is detected, we use the throw statement, and which is captured, or the exception is received by the catch block, and the error is handled at that particular catch statement. Catch block will always follow the try block where the exception is being thrown. This is a figure for the block throwing exception. You can see the try block and the catch block. The throw statement comes in the try block. When a try block throws an exception, the program control leaves the try block and enters the catch statement or the catch block. If the type of the object thrown matches the argument in the catch statement, the catch block is executed. The catch can have different types of arguments that will be explained later. So whenever the exception is arised, it goes to the control transfers to the catch block and it is handled over there. Now this is the syntax for the try catch block. Initially you have the try, where for the statements where the exception occurs, those statements will be placed in the try block. Now there you are throwing the exception. Throw is the keyword. Exception can be without the parenthesis or within the parenthesis. Now depending upon the argument, exceptions data type, that is the type of argument, the catch statement would function. That's the type of argument that you're passing being matched in the catch statement. In this case, you have only a single catch statement. For multiple catch statements, we will look later. Now, this is a simple program for division by 0. So, you're having in the main program, you're reading two values for a and b, x equal to a minus b. If the value of x is not equal to 0, you can simply calculate the result as a by x. Suppose the value of x is 0, you cannot divide it. So you're throwing an exception. Throw x, you're passing the value of x, that would be 0. So catch, now x is integer, so int I, simply it will be printed out as exception caught. So suppose your input for a and b is 5, 5 minus 5 is 0, so the output would be exception caught. Now suppose you are having 20 and 10. So the a minus b would be 10. X is not equal to 0. So result will be 20 by 10. The value would be 2 would be printed out. Next one is a multiple catch. Now if the program segment has more than one condition that throws the exception, we associate more than one catch statement for a single try block. Now depending upon the argument that is being thrown, the catch statement, the arguments in the catch statement is compared. The first one that matches the argument would be the catch handler that would be executed first. We'll see an example. This is the syntax. You're having a single try block and n catch statements. See the first one, catch type 1 argument. You're having catch block 1. Catch type 2 argument and the catch block 2. Catch type n argument, you're having catch block n. So depending upon the matching of the argument type, that particular catch block would be executed. Only one of the catch block would be executed depending upon the argument that is thrown by the exception. Now this is an example for multiple catch statement. You're having a function. We have put the try block in a function. Okay. So we are having test. You're getting an argument from the main program as x. Now if x value equal to 1, you're throwing an integer value 1. If x equal to 0, you're throwing a character. If x equal to minus 1, you're throwing a floating type value. If it is none of the values, you will be printing out end of the try block. So in the catch statement, the first catch is having a type argument character. So when you're throwing a, that particular catch would be executed. In the second catch, it is an integer. So when you're throwing the exception 1, the second catch would be executed, that is caught an integer. When you're throwing 1.0, the third type of catch block would be executed, that is double D, caught a double. Now we'll see the main program. In the main program, we are having cout x equal to 1. See the output on the right hand side. X equal to 1 is printed. and you're calling the function test by passing the value of x, that is 1. So in the function test, when x equal to 1, you would throw um, throw 1. So the second type of catch with integer data type would be executed, caught an integer, and end of try catch statement. Cout x equal to 0. You're calling the function test with the integer 0. So if x equal to 0, you're throwing throwing an exception with character a. So then in the catch statement, it will be comparing with the catch statement, and the first catch block statement would be executed. So caught a character. In the third case, cout x equal to minus 1, and you're calling the function test minus 1. When x equal to minus 1, the third throw is executed. Throw with a double value 1.0. Caught a double. End of try catch statement. Next, when x equal to 2, test of 2. None of the statements works. X equal to 0, x equal to minus 1, x equal to 1. None of the if statement executes, and you're simply printing the statement end of the try catch statement. This is just an example to show how multiple catch statements are executed. Next is the catch all. In all these situations, we may not be able to understand what is the type of exceptions that occur in a particular program. So what we are doing is, in general, we write a catch statement for all the throws. That is by putting a 3 dot dot in the argument place. So any type of throw occurs, the catch statement would be executed instead of taking a particular type alone. So this is the same program that we have seen for different arguments. Here again you're having the test function passing an argument x. If x equal to 1, throw x. If x equal to 0, throw character x. If x equal to minus 1, throw 1.0. So for all the try statements, you're having a single catch. That is with the argument as 3 dots. Wherever is the case, only one output would be present, that is caught an exception. So when you're passing test 1, test 0, test minus 1, for all three cases, caught an exception would occur. When you're calling the function test 2, none of the throw statements would be executed, but what will be done? End of the try block would be executed. Hope it's clear.